If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Follow the leader.
Oh my God.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
Yo, mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2. We in the house. 1992, DLC, kicking off in your mother. So your best beat up in the past. Yo, deep bars, it's your being a boss. Chill it, what's up with that sauce? This is it, yo, taste, step on that. Making sure of what you got. Better get it while it's hot. Ain't no better love than your own. Unmistaken urge to be sexy with society. How can you be happy alone? Yeah, I need to be loved. I'm waiting for so long. 'Cause I ain't too proud to bear something that I call my own. And I want to be touched and feeling so much. See, 'cause everybody needs some good love. Yo, if I need it in the morning or the middle of the night, I ain't too proud to beg now. If the loving is strong, then he got it going on, and I ain't too proud to beg now. 2 inches or your rock hard, or if it's sagging, I ain't too proud to beg now. So it ain't like I'm bragging, just bring the paddy wagon, 'cause I ain't too proud. I ain't too proud to beg. Screaming loud and holding sheets, scared that you'll be caught a freak. Gotta let it go while you can.
Welcome in. Happy Thursday. Happy Throwback Thursday. Is that still a thing? It's going to be a thing tonight. You are locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. Of course, this is the show where we hit all the trending topics and headlines that have been burning down your timeline. Tonight, we've got folks rewriting history, a couple of folks forgetting their media credentials, and a couple of other folks who learned the hard way that you will not play in Megan Thee Stallion's face on Klay Thompson's watch. So grab your snacks, get a beverage or two, because we have a lot to discuss tonight. First up, shout out to Andy, just because he keeps us going here. You know, great musical selections. Big ups to that. Okay. Documentary season seems to be upon us, right? There's been some great ones that have dropped as of late. I don't know if you checked out the Allen Iverson documentary on Prime. Right now on Netflix, just dropped yesterday, Being Eddie. It's a Eddie Murphy documentary. And listen, we don't hear from Eddie a lot, right? And this is a peek inside of Eddie's thoughts, a reminder for some, because a lot of people don't recognize exactly who Eddie was in the early 80s, on through the 90s, but especially when he came out on Saturday Night Live, not even 21 years old, and just took the industry by storm and was unapologetically Black and himself. So I'm glad we're getting to revisit a lot of his hits, highs, lows, and, you know, have a conversation about it. And his house. Oh, my God. Have you seen his house? Please watch the documentary and then come back and talk to me about Eddie's house, because Eddie's house is amazing. It's blazing. All right. So coming up, speaking of documentaries, Babyface is teaming with Kenya Barris, and we are finally getting a treatment on Babyface's life, a documentary. Kenya Barris is going to help bring this to life, just so you know. Because some people, you know, they forget Babyface is him. Like we saw that incident on the red carpet a couple of months ago where the young lady was like, oh, I got to get to, I can't remember who it was that she wanted to get to, and was, you know, wrapping up with Face. And he was like, do your thing. Not mad at that energy. So 12 Grammys, 200 plus top 10 R&B hits, 50 plus number ones, 500 million records sold. So I think that Babyface's early beginnings. I believe he came from Indianapolis. Out here, we want to hear that story. We want to hear what it is. We want to talk about the deal because I feel like not a lot of y'all recognize that the deal is where Babyface started as far as a group, him and L.A. Reid. 2 occasions. I met my baby at the Bang Bang Gotcha Shoot 'em Up movies. Come on, man. Come on. That is the thing. We love Face. Andy?
We might want to revisit his verses with Teddy Riley. I think.
His verses with Teddy Riley was a classic.
Yeah, I think he might have shared some of them stories, maybe.
He shared some of those stories, but also, what also came into play is that I feel like we also got to see a difference in approach in how masters because both of those guys have created hits on hits on hits for a very long time, of all sorts of things. But you remember, Teddy was having internet difficulties. Remember the hands on his hips, the stance to look back. That was a classic versus.
He was trying to have a whole production going on.
Right.
When we was just trying to be on Instagram. And I remember Babyface, he had on the little silk suit on with the little wine and everything. He was ready and smooth. So
with his guitar too. So, Babyface's pen is your fave's fave. It's what they pray for. So I'm looking forward to it. Shout out to that. Also, big ups to The Weeknd. He has donated $350,000 for Jamaica hurricane relief. He's in his global humanitarian bag again. And it's via his XO Humanitarian World Food Program. And it's expected to help 220,000 Jamaicans affected by Hurricane Melissa. So the fund was launched originally in 2022, and he's donated millions worldwide. So some celebrities send prayers, some activate. Big ups to The Weeknd for taking care of that. When we come forward, we have so much more to get into. More trending topics, more headlines, more Klay checking the fellas. All that and more. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-729-7070. That's 1-800-729-7070. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-729-7070. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
All I need is one mic.
With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. Let me be clear about what we're witnessing here. A textbook case of talking about communities instead of talking with them. Pedro Pizarro, president and CEO of Edison International, found time this week to sit down with the LA Times to discuss their so-called fast pay program for those impacted by the Altadena-Eaton Canyon fire. We think it is neither fast nor fair, but when we organized the community town hall, Southern California Edison first confirmed participation and then abruptly canceled. There was no time available on Mr. Pizarro's calendar for a face-to-face conversation with the individuals and families who have lost everything due to the negligence of Southern California Edison. This is not an accident. This is a choice about who deserves direct engagement and who gets managed through press statements. When you talk to the LA Times about people, you control the narrative. You get to frame the issues on your terms, with your spin, filtered through journalists who may or may not push back. But when you show up to a town hall, you face real questions from real people experiencing real problems. There's no PR buffer. There's real accountability. This pattern of being available to corporate media, but unavailable for community dialogue, sends a clear message about whose voices matter and whose don't. It's the kind of disrespect that hides behind busy schedules and prior commitments, but the community sees right through it. If these issues are important enough to discuss with the LA Times, they're important enough to discuss directly with the people living them. Anything less isn't just disrespectful, it's a fundamental failure of leadership and accountability. Mr. Pizarro says in the LA Times interview, I need to go to the supermarket in Pasadena or Altadena and be able to look people in the eye. We want to do the right thing for our community. You had a chance to look folk in the eye at our town hall meeting last week, but you didn't show up. And then we invited you for a one-on-one conversation here at the station, but you have yet to confirm. So please, please stop with the gaslighting. With the KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley, and as always, we welcome your feedback.
Now back to more entertainment news with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah. Way up. Turn it all up. Yeah. Look, I got enemies, got a lot of enemies, got a lot of people trying to drain me of my energy. They trying to take away from it. With the kid and pray for you. I got girls in real life trying to up my day. Going online, that ain't part of my day. I got real popping with my family too. I got that can never leave Canada too. I got 2 mortgages, 30 million in total. I got that is still trying me over. I got rap that I gotta act like I like.
Welcome back in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. All right, first order of business. You know how this goes down. If at any point you want to get in on this conversation, 800-920-1580. That's the number that you can call to get in and be live on air with me. You can get at us on social media, KBLA 1580. Me personally, I'm at Stiletto Jill everywhere. Holla at your girl, say hi. Download the app, or if you want the visual to go along with this audio experience, hit us up in the YouTube chat. Shout out to the chat. Those are the VIPs right there. They are a community. There's a lot of conversation that happens there. We appreciate them and their input. Now, let's get into these topics. Oh, wait. Before I do, there is one thing that I wanted to mention. Speaking of charitable endeavors and such, the Nipsey Hussle Foundation is doing their first ever Crenshaw Thanksgiving giveaway, right? The Neighborhood Nip Foundation is doing their first turkey giveaway later this month right here in the neighborhood on Crenshaw, right? The marathon continues, and so does the service. You can check out I believe there is a page for the foundation as well as, Black and various others to get more information on that. But that is going down. So Nipsey continues through his legacy, through his memory, to give back to the community that raised him. So shout out to that. And one more little bit of news before we get into Stephen A. and Cari Champion. Morgan Freeman, the voice of God for some. He is calling out rampant AI theft. Freeman says that he is a little pissed off on all the unauthorized usage of his voice in AI. He said, don't mimic me with falseness, and that his lawyers are busy pursuing many cases. So AI is out here, borrowing, finding inspiration from people like Morgan Freeman, thinking it's a, cheap way to get over. And Morgan said, not so fast. I will be claiming my IP. So it'll be curious to see how he rolls out with these various suits that he says, and if they come to fruition and what happens with them as, the development of AI and how it's used and who has ownership over it is ongoing. So we'll see. All right. So Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. is one of those people I feel people love to hate, right? And sometimes he gives them a lot of reason to spew that hate forth. Well, a couple of days ago, an interesting sort of back and forth started out. And it's curious because it's a side that we haven't necessarily seen addressed. So Cari Champion posted on her Instagram recently, right, that she finds it funny that Stephen A. Smith has all the smoke in the world for women like Jasmine Crockett, right? A respected government official. And I guess others, according to Cari Champion. But when it comes to Michelle Beadle, Stephen A. largely doesn't have a lot to say. And Cari says that she would like to see him keep that same energy, right? And Jemele Hill chimed in, reposted Cari's story and said, I wonder about this as well, right? Well, Stephen A. responded, he has his straight shooter media. He's delved off into politics. He has a Sirius XM show. He's the face of ESPN. And he had a lot to say to Cari. Now, his response back to Cari, it's about 8 minutes long. We won't be playing all of that. But we will be playing some of it so that you can hear the tone, some of the things he said, and then we're going to address it. So let's take a listen.
Let me get to somebody I do know. At least I thought I knew. And that's Miss Cari Champion. Cari Champion is a person that used to host First Take. Used to work at ESPN. Used to do Sports Nation, stuff like that. Did a pretty damn good job, too. And I have to tell you, I was taken aback, and I think the word shocked does apply when it came to this Michelle Beadle brouhaha and seeing Cari Champion say this about me. Please play cut number 7.
Stephen A. I played that Michelle Beadle clip for one reason and one reason only. I'm old enough to remember being on that show and getting in trouble based on some comments you said about women and whether or not they should know their place when it comes to abuse or non-abuse. Ray Rice comes to mind. Not going to get into the details of all of that. But Beadle just came for you yet again, like she did when I worked at ESPN. I wonder, do you have that same smoke for her that you have for Jasmine Crockett, that you have for Michelle Obama, that you sometimes display for me and Jemele Hill? Do you have that same smoke? I'm sick of it. Keep the same energy. And I call you and I root for you and I say, hey, I got your back. I'm happy for you. But you keep that same energy, sir, for everybody.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Why are you laughing, Andy?
You just said, Cari, you called me. You root for me. Why would you root for somebody that called you out in Jemele Hill, who's your good friend? Because it's never happened. Never. I've shown you nothing but love. What are you talking about? You were hired at First Take in large part because of me.
Okay, let's pause it right there. So, per Jemele Hill, and some stories that Cari said, that right there, that Cari was hired at First Take in large part because of Stephen A., not true. Now, did he potentially have some input? Probably, of course. He was one of the main figures. Why do you say a lot of input, Andy?
Executive producer.
Was he an executive producer when the show first started at that time in 2011? Did he start off as an executive? And I'm asking, I really don't know.
I'd like to assume so.
Okay, so perhaps he did.
Because things did change. Once he hopped on, there was a lot more diverse personalities.
It was, but that happens after Skip left. That's when I feel he got more control and he got more guidance. So here's the thing. He probably did speak up for Cari, but not a great deal. It's not as if he spotted her at the tennis channel and was like, yo, come on over here. I want to help guide you. That's not exactly what happened. Right. But I think that Stephen A. is being a little obtuse in that he does seem to have, and especially with Jasmine Crockett was kind of dangling and, things that are stereotypically said around black women, which kind of isn't fair, right? I'm not saying he can't have his opinion, but don't play those games and then act like you don't know what we mean. Now, he did address Michelle Beadle in this same broadcast. It was very lengthy, and he did lay flame to her. But the question also comes with, if you never felt the need to before, what was different now? Was it Cari pointing a microscope on it? Because what was the difference? You don't think so? And I'm just asking. He said his position 99% of the time is to not respond to commentary that is based about him, right? So this time, and Michelle Beadle went in, she said she praised on Stephen A's downfall. She said a lot of stuff that was, out of pocket, but she said a lot of stuff that has been out of pocket about Stephen A before. It's kind of the point, and he didn't feel compelled to speak on it. But after Cari called him out, coincidentally, at the same time, he now feels compelled to address it.
I'm sure it was Cari, and like listening to Stephen A, I think he was, like he said, he was taken aback. Like, man, this is somebody he felt like, he supported. Why are you now coming at me? Now, I don't know what stirred up the whole Michelle Beadle stuff over again and whatnot, but I believe it all started with her running her mouth.
Yeah, Michelle
right?
did bring up Stephen A in conversation on a show, and yeah.
And to your point, I think Stephen A was just like, whatever at this time, but then I guess Jamel Hill and Cari Champion, and I guess just considering the back and forth that he had with Jasmine Crockett, and then you have
which he did apologize about his statements.
So then you have somebody of the other persuasion talking mess. People are like, where's the smoke? So, I get it. I see it. But he finally addressed it.
He did address it. And, I kind of feel like Cari said the quiet part out loud because, Stephen A's response did have a bit of ego behind it, right? He was definitely poking his chest out. He said that both might be mad that they're not getting the attention that they once were. Michelle Beadle especially, he indicated that he felt that she continues to show that she is less than talented. He kind of, leaned into that. But with Cari, he said that, he would be talking to her. He's walking a fine line. I agree. Stephen A works his butt off. He has, paid the cost to be the boss, I suppose, right? But that does not mean that you cannot make a misstep at times or, overstep your position, as vast as it may be. So that's kind of my thoughts on that. I'm sure it's over now. I'm sure that they will have a conversation at some point. And, it's also coming back to the fact that one of the things that Beadle got on him about and the conversation that Cari is talking about started with the Ray Rice incident, of course, when Stephen A, I guess, in hindsight, maybe was trying to have a conversation about domestic violence situations and men and women and what happens when, how men are told without fail they should never put their hands on a woman, but sometimes they're attacked, and try and open that. But obviously, First Take, ESPN was not the place to have that conversation. Didn't work, right? And so, still, he does sometimes kind of, play with an interesting line. So it seems, and it feels like, when he comes to black women at times. But I think that is also a product of a Gen X older man, because I think that there are some things, some thoughts, some beliefs, some rollouts, some patterns that they are very much in lockstep with and in that you can't necessarily walk back or roll back as much as we try. Yes, it sounds like what a lot of commentary is of racists defending themselves, but some stuff does become ingrained, and they either have to lose an opportunity, make the change, or people are going to accept them for what they are. Andy?
If there's going to be any insinuation that the man hates black women, I'd push back on that. I don't think that's the case.
I don't think it's so much that he hates black women. I don't think that that is what the statement is. I think that there is the thought process, a level of disrespect in the way that he approaches them, you know? And I mean, let's be real. Internally, right, we all have internalized a lot of misogynistic and you know, sometimes kind of our colorism battles within our own and all of that stuff, and it seeps in and it comes out sometimes in interesting ways.
I'd like to know what other black names have issues. Black women
have issues with Stephen A.
Yeah, I mean, like, I get the whole Jasmine Crockett thing or whatnot, but I got to be honest with you, and I rock with Jasmine Crockett. I feel like that energy was matched.
You feel like it was the same energy?
It's the same energy, so that should be canceled. You know what I mean? Like, Stephen A. is trying to get into his whole political game or whatnot.
He is, but as that same man talking about a black woman's wig, you know what that is. You know what you're doing, right? You playing like
we was talking about Megan Thee Stallion twerking for what you call it, Kamala Harris.
We were, but I mean, but I guess the question. You know, there's a line, like, if you want to be a political commentator, should you be taking wig shots? I don't know.
Man.
I don't know. I'm not saying you can't critique what is happening, but do you want to do that? I don't know. I guess that's what we're wondering. Listen, Morris Phillips says black women are the most intelligent people in our society. Shout out to you. Royal Jenkins says Stephen A. Smith disrespected Kyrie, criticized Kyrie Irving every day back during COVID-19 and did not say anything about Aaron Rodgers. So, I mean, you know, their feelings about Stephen A. When we come forward, we'll get into more trending topics and headlines.
High hopes for you, we gon' see. I got money in the course of all my the free. About to call your ass a Uber, I got somewhere to be. I hear fairy tales about how they gon' run up on me. Well, run up when you see me, then we gon' see. I got enemies, got a lot of enemies, got a lot of...
Are you ready for the hottest entertainment scoop in Los Angeles? She's bringing you exclusive interviews with today's biggest stars, behind-the-scenes Hollywood insights, and all the entertainment news you need to know. She's breaking down what's trending, what's ending, and what's just beginning in the world of entertainment. You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Outgoing New York City Mayor Eric Adams, who is black, just designated the Elizabeth Street Garden in Nolita as city parkland, blocking plans for senior affordable housing there.
It is no surprise that Mayor Adams is using his final weeks and months to cement a legacy of dysfunction and inconsistency.
Incoming Mayor Zohran Mamdani criticized the move. Under Armour and NBA icon Steph Curry have ended their 13-year partnership effective immediately. Curry keeps full ownership of his Curry brand and is now a sneaker-free agent. And Sean Diddy Combs will spend a few extra weeks behind bars after his release date was pushed from May 8, 2028 to June 4th. Page 6 did not confirm why, but it comes after reports of issues with prison officials and claims he had alcohol in his cell, allegations Diddy denies. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
It's the southbound side of the 405 that loads up in Hawthorne from the 105 freeway. There's a crash ahead in Lawndale that they're clearing out of lanes. It's right at Hawthorne Boulevard, so watch for some activity there. The northbound side of the 405, well, we're seeing delays getting away from just about western out of Torrance, and that stays heavy all the way back towards the 105 freeway. More slowing northbound out of Culver City from Venice Boulevard and stretches all the way to the 5 merge into Sylmar.
Escape the confines of the city for the expansive beauty of the Santa Ynez Valley with a short 2-hour drive up the coast. Let Chumash Casino Resort be your destination getaway. Welcome to freedom. Go to chumashcasino.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Clippers shouldn't feel too bad about getting mistreated Wednesday night by Denver Nuggets center Nikola Jokic. The 3-time MVP has been doing that to everybody this season. In Denver's 11 games, Jokic is averaging 35.8 points, 12 rebounds, 11 assists, and is shooting 73.9% from the floor. The 55 points Jokic dropped on the Clippers Wednesday night matched a single-game high this season. Oklahoma City's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scored 55 against Indiana on October 23rd, but he needed a double overtime to do it. Jokic had his way with the Clippers in just 34 minutes. Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford, at age 37, is having an MVP-type season. He leads the NFL with 25 touchdown passes. Stafford and Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert are in the top 5 in passing yardage. Herbert is second with 2,610 yards. Stafford is fourth with 2,427. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Follow the leader. Oh my God. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
JP Morgan Chase offers tips for the local business owners in 2025. Small business landscape is ever-changing, and the Los Angeles market is no exception. A startup or legacy business, revisiting your mission statement and recalibrating offerings can renew opportunities for growth and innovations. Programs like Chase for Business Coaching for Impact gives entrepreneurs access to expert guidance, helping you streamline operations, strategize your growth, and navigate complex challenges. Businesses with a clear sense of purpose can navigate any challenge effectively, but also build stronger customer loyalty. Visit chase.com/coaching for impact for more information. This segment is sponsored by JP Morgan Chase.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. If you need help getting your resume in order, finding job training, or landing a job, we've got 3 great options for you. First, the City of Los Angeles has worksource centers across the area offering free job support. The California Workforce Development Board can help you with everything from GED prep to vocational training at no cost to you. On the federal level, the Department of Labor's American Job Centers offer a full range of services for job seekers and businesses alike. Visit careeronestop.org, or for more info, just call California's Help Center or visit cwdb.ca.gov or call 916-657-1440. For the City of Los Angeles programs, go to ewd.lacity.gov or call 213-744-7300. All these services are free to help you get your next job. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, 24 hours in a day, and the first thing y'all do is start hating. Couldn't be me, I'm about my breach, in my sleep getting paid. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wanna fight me over my, hey, once he taste this, you might as well let that go. He feeling a pimp, he know still in the drip. He know that these gon' hate. He know that you want him cause you know he fucking with me. And he ain't taking the bait. Make no mistake, just as I'm cute in this beauty, don't mean I won't run in your yeah, smoke. Whenever I see me out, she already know what I'm on.
make it fake, I'm a chip chop. Say she don't know me, she been out on TikTok. Stop thinking you ate, should've been quiet. Can't get your back cause he with a pimp now. No, can't make me argue with no. Same dogging you out getting ghosted. Running to see what I posted. Getting in 10 with my feet by the ocean.
Welcome back in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. It's whatever. All right, listen. We're about to talk a little Megan Thee Stallion and Klay Thompson. Now, ironically enough, right, last night, if you were tapped into All Up in the Business Wednesdays, you know, where we get into business strategy here on this show, right? We briefly talked about at the end of the show, was brought up, was Klay's slump in Dallas, because we were talking about the firing of Nico Harrison and where that really stems from and some of our thoughts around that, right? And of course, the trade of Luka and the signing of Klay, and Klay not looking like Splash Brother Klay in Dallas has some concern. And now people are saying, you know, it might be because Klay fell into it and can't get up. I don't know. Andy? What? Oh, you like what? What? Okay. I thought you were ready to put your 2 cents in. Okay. So listen, on a podcast, right? Patrick Beverley, retired NBA player. Is Patrick retired? Who does he play for? Is he still on the Clippers?
I don't think he's retired. I want to say he's playing overseas, but I really don't know what the situation is. But I don't think he's retired yet.
Okay. But he's not actively in the NBA,
No,
right? He's not on
NBA.
it. Okay. All right. I'm not mistaken in that. All right. And Jason Williams, who arguably a future Hall of Famer, right? You think so? No, not with the Heat team.
No.
Wasn't he on one of those Olympic teams? No, he wasn't.
Great player, but
I saw Jason Williams' name, but I'm thinking of other Jason Williams on Olympic team with the Y. Wasn't he on back in the day? All right, I might be getting all my facts mixed up, but
you talking about shooter Jason Williams?
Yeah.
I don't think he was on any Olympic team.
What, he wasn't on like? Okay.
Nah.
Well, anyway, so you don't. We'll have that conversation later about white boy. That's what he has across his knuckles. I'm not just throwing stuff at him. Jason Williams, you know, he's part of that Miami Heat 2006 team. Former teammate of Randy Moss. They were good friends coming up.
Keep it G. We remember him as a Sacramento King.
Facts.
That's what we remember him.
Doing all those tricks, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, they were on a podcast together. And the subject came of Klay and his alleged slump this season, right? Now, let's point out that the Mavericks are having some injury issues and trying to fit someone a lot. You know, AD, Cari, that's majorly important. It's not small injuries. And so the fact that Klay might be suffering, and you know, with a relatively new team with 2 key players out doesn't seem like that hard of a stretch. But Pat and Jason feel as though Klay has been given a pass. And let's hear what they had to say.
Ain't talking about Klay Thompson. Y'all steady trying to get him a pass. I ain't never seen Klay not shoot it like this. And for him to say I'm out of my prime, like, come on, Klay. Like, come on.
He said that?
Yeah.
How many? Yeah, he's got a beautiful.
So, yeah,
speaking of BBL,
Yeah.
I'm from West Virginia, man. I've been taught a lot by some old folks, old white folks. It only takes one to drag a battleship across the desert. That's how powerful it is. So
Most wars are.
It got something to, you know what I'm saying? Klay Thompson, I ain't saying that's what it is, but that might be what it is.
So, you know, a lot of people have been saying that because y'all are mean. You got a lot to say.
No, it's true.
But I think that just the nature of the setup of his work environment says his game was going to suffer. And let's be clear. My thoughts are Klay is at the latter stages of his career as well, especially considering the injuries he's been through, right? Be that as it may. Some people think his slump is because he's in love. My man, my baby, right?
You love that.
I just, it's funny to me. It's just funny to me. It was funny when Young Miami said it, and it's funny with Megan doing it. So Klay hopped in the comments of that clip, and he said, referring to my girlfriend as a kitty is so disgusting and disturbing, especially from someone who played in the NBA. How would y'all feel if I referred to your wives in such a way? Do better, fellas. Very disappointing. Now, see, I feel like people think because Megan Thee Stallion is Megan Thee Stallion, right? WAP, all of the things, twerk something, hot girl summer, that they can speak in a way about her that they wouldn't if she was just not famous, right? Would they trash his girlfriend in speaking on his slump if she wasn't famous? I'm just asking. Has anybody attributed LeBron's injury to Savannah stepping out more?
He came in the game with Savannah.
I'm just saying. Brandon Ingram looks like he's doing okay over there with Glorilla.
We'll see.
See, I'm just saying, why are you love to make women be the blame?
Look, it's
and
not even
here's the
a
thing.
negative, though. That's the thing. I think
There are distractions that happen. Go ahead.
That's what it's not a negative. Like, at the end of the day, we're happy that you're in love. Shout out to Klay. Shout out to Megan. I hope you guys walk down the aisle. That's dope. But the reality is that sometimes on some occasions, you know what I'm saying, you can be distracted. And, you know, it can affect your game. You're madly in love. You know what I'm saying? The same thing with Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. You know what I'm saying? Let's not make it a race thing because we on Travis Kelce's head, too.
Right, but I think Travis, much like Klay, I think they're both at the latter stages of their career, too.
Quite frankly, I think if Klay stayed in Golden State somehow, this probably wouldn't even be a discussion. Even in his later stage of his career.
Maybe. But I also think that, you know, Megan is an easy target, right? Because fact remains, right? Patrick Beverly has gone through his cases. Nobody, you know, that he would be mad as heck if black women were like, it's because of his white wife.
And can we be honest? It was Jason Williams who made that comment.
He did.
And I don't think Pat Bev really went in on that.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
So, I understand, Klay, you got to defend your girl. I get it. I see it from all perspectives. Let's not act like these type of conversations don't happen on a regular basis.
They do.
This was just public.
It was just public, but I think the reason why one of the things that people are especially sensitive when it comes to Megan is because how she's looked at, right? Megan has been joked about, dragged, sexualized, scapegoated for a time period. The whole thing with Tory Lanez and how people feel like she was mistreated as a victim within all of that. And the fact that, you know, Klay, a notorious playboy, some people looked at it as he was, you know, he could do better.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, there's some people that felt like that him getting with a female rapper that is highly sexualized like Megan Thee Stallion, that she wasn't classy enough for someone like Klay Thompson.
Okay.
You know?
I mean, the feedback I got was it was just his turn.
I mean, but and they're saying that too, you know, and I'm saying all of that is like, yeah, those conversations happen, but would they openly disrespect another player's girlfriend in that manner if it wasn't Megan Thee Stallion, right?
I mean, come on now. I think
that they consider a pass around.
I think we know the answer to that question.
I don't know.
She's a public figure, so of course she's going to be spoken about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If Klay was dating whoever he was dating that nobody knew about, it probably wouldn't even be a discussion.
I mean, Klay's dalliances and his playboy persona have been discussed a little bit. Remember the girl broke into his house and spray painted her name on his driveway or something like that. So, what I will say that it is very important, the manner in which he defended her and what he had to say, him stepping up as a man, especially when people view Megan as someone that hasn't been protected by the men in her life.
And that's a
in
great
various situations.
I'm not knocking that at all, but I see all aspects.
So there it is, you know, clickbait or not. When we come forward, we're going to get into more trending topics and headlines. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Your ride with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
September is World Alzheimer's Month, a time to shine a light on a public health crisis that hits Black families hardest. 1 in 5 Black adults ages 70 and older is living with Alzheimer's disease, or AD, and it's not a normal part of aging. Early signs like repeating questions, missed appointments, even trouble handling bills might seem small, but they matter. The good news? There are treatment options available that may slow AD when diagnosed early. Don't wait. Visit treatalzearly.com. That's treatalzearly.com to learn more. This message is brought to you by AZI.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
An official message from Medicare.
Medicare plans change from one year to the next. And this year, it's important for you to review your current coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans, drug coverage, and costs. See if you can save some money, and don't forget to make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Visit Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. LA County's new Justice Care and Opportunities Department, or JCOD, is here to support justice-involved individuals and their families. The JCOD Support Center is now taking calls at 1-833-LACJCOD. That's 1-833-522-5263. Available 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., the Support Center is your one-stop shop for re-entry issues and court support. They offer court reminders, connections to local services, transportation assistance for housing, court appearances, and childcare. The JCOD hotline provides personalized help to connect you with services that you need. And don't forget to check out justiceconnect.org for more information. Remember, it's free and available every day at 1-833-522-5263. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe at KBLA Talk 1580. So, of course, real quick, I want to get into a couple of the chats because, you know, the chat is chatting. Fahima says, Megan is a college-educated woman. The whole stallion thing is just a public persona. I don't know about just. I mean, I think that, you know, it's a side of her. But regardless of whether it is a persona or not, doesn't mean that, again, public figures are going to get talked about. People are going to get, you know, ran through the conversation. But if you call yourself respecting the next man's girlfriend, right? Somebody's publicly claiming, I thought the rules said, for the guys, the rules said, you know, wives and girlfriends are off limits to publicly dislike that. Publicly.
Where was the disrespect, though, other than just the term used?
I think the term,
And
you
even-
know,
and-
that's it. Because here's the thing, calling it kitty, right, implies that, like you said, it's just his term and it's something to roll along,
It's how
roll
dudes
on
talk,
from.
y'all. Sorry.
Huh?
I said it's how dudes talk.
I know it's how,
Sorry, ladies.
but it's how dudes talk, but it's not how dudes talk. You know the difference between when you were talking about what you consider community, you know, a 304 or whatever, and somebody that you have a little more reverence for, like that's that man's wife, that's that man's real significant other.
I done had homies, you know what I'm saying, refer to my significant other, not my current one, but you know, back in the day, high school.
As your B?
Come on, you already know.
Right, but would you go for that today? You said high school. Today, as a grown man, would you let the homie be like, hey, yo, where your B at? No, you would push back on that respectfully.
Respectfully.
Now, if it was a little something you were in, and they were like, where your head doctor at? Where that be at? You might let that slide, correct? Because there's a difference. Not implying that Andy would ever have anything like that or anything going on like that. That was strictly for illustrative purposes, okay? Andy is not that guy.
But also, generally speaking, I just think Megan Thee Stallion gets disrespected, period.
Yeah.
And as we're having this conversation, I always bring it up. I was just really shocked of the vitriol that she got with her performing during the whole Kamala thing. And I'm just like, I just think America just doesn't like that type of aesthetic, period.
I think what the idea is that America doesn't like that type of aesthetic from a black woman.
Okay.
But if it was Miley Cyrus up there, like she was in her bangers era, or something like that, then it's she's so cool and edgy.
You know what's crazy though? They dislike it, but deep down inside, those be the same ones sliding in the DMs.
Right, because they probably, it might be a frustration thing. It's behavior. It is a stance and image that most women were told, you won't be successful in this. In order to be, considered a proper lady, one to be loved, respected, married, you can't conduct yourself in that manner. So when you see a woman doing all of the things in theory that most women were told will get them nowhere, being unapologetically free and open, it can cause a bit of, reaction in some. So that's what I think that is right there.
Well said, Joe. Well said.
So shout out to that. All right, quickly. Right. I also wanted to mention that Megan's lawsuit against blogger Milagro Gramz for cyber stalking, deepfake porn, posting Tory Lane's family fed info without checking it still continues to roll on. In court recently, they stood on evidence of Milagro Gramz admitting that she is not a journalist. Information gleaned from one of her live streams where their point, Megan's team, is saying that since she is not a journalist, she cannot be protected by the ethics of journalistic responsibilities, i.e. her opinion is not meant to, be thought of as targeting, harassment, etc., etc. So we'll see what happens. She admitted that she has no training, no schooling, and, Megan's team is saying this doesn't qualify for media protection. So we'll see what rolls out with that. All right. So on to the never-ending saga, right? Ray J, Kim K, that video, Kris's involvement, right? Ray J's new filing is not subtle. It claims Kim and Kris not only approved the tape, but that Kris actively managed the release and commercial rollout, and says that Kim paid him $6 million with a gag clause that they allegedly broke almost immediately to throw the blame back on Ray J. Right? So what Ray is saying, which is what he's been saying for a while, he took the brunt and the blame, saying that he leaked it for promotion and monetary gain, when in actuality they were in it together. He's alleging created from Kris, Kim, etc., that Kris allegedly helped negotiate with Vivid, the company that put it out, that Kim paid him $6 million in a settlement so that he would not share the details that they put it out together and that she was a part of it. He says their new lawsuit is publicity, power, and punishment. And he calls Kris and Kim's narrative manipulation and 2 decades of lives, right? The tape was filmed in 2003, released in 2007. Vivid always requires paperwork, always. And insiders have said this for years, that there's no way that the tape could have been released and sold without those signatures being released for it, right? Kris passed a polygraph test on TV claiming that she had nothing to do with it. Ray J called it fake. And remember, Whack 100 claimed in 2022 that a second tape existed. The reason why Whack is relevant is he once was Ray J's manager, right? So this is the origin story of a billion-dollar family brand that essentially kicked off from this moment and in connection to a famous black family, right? And the way that this has been examined, Ray J's character for it, whether he deserves it or not at a later time, has in some ways suffered as much as people say it has benefited him, right? Because he did take the brunt of it, and most of those claims fell on him. So we'll see where it happens, where it goes. It's a long-standing industry belief that the narrative was never honest, and now we're, getting more into the nuggets, nuts, and bolts of it. So we'll see what happens. All right, you guys, that is my time. Thank you, as always, for locking in each and every Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. for these trending topics and headlines. And you know what's up next, right? The voice of reason. He's about to hit you in the head with all of that goodness. And, protect your voice like Morgan Freeman, protect your receipts like Ray J, and protect your peace like Megan. Good night.
The real meaning of what her means, while I show you the opposite of what lonely brings. The ice rope on my neck makes my body bling, flipping out while you doing ungodly things. So tell me what you doing tonight, cause we can do it again. Yo, you with it, aight? Yeah, I know you like it when I'm feeling aight, and tonight I'ma make you feel it, aight?
Girl, what you doing tonight? This is my formal invite. You should just come home to me.
Time since I put Khalees out. I've been in VA putting them 100-gram beats out, paying for the all glass South Beach house so you can see me getting hips from the hottest piece out. Ex-dyke Dominicans say they feel them in again, asking me do I wanna sin again. So on my hood they screwing me on. Watch your heels, girls, don't scratch my Louis Vuittons. Dog, yeah, all day I'm in, and when I'm in I touch your chest, your girl scream alien. She said she feeling for leaves so she can't breathe. I don't smoke, but girl I keep bombs.